Hey guys, it's Cisco Spider, and happy Halloween! Today I'll be reviewing 6 cartoon Halloween episodes, and these are in no specific order, nor it's not a top 5 best or worst list. It's just 6 random Halloween episodes from cartoons, and I do plan on doing this annually, and these don't necessarily have to take place on Halloween, as long as it does have a creepy and spooky theme to the episode. And it's suitable to watch on Halloween, then it's fine with me. So let's get on with the reviews. First up, we have Hell on Earth 2006 from South Park. The plot is that Satan throws a big Halloween party to celebrate his Sweet 16. First off, I think this episode is really funny. I remember the first time I saw this, I laughed so hard I think I cried, because it was just it's definitely one of the most funniest things I have ever seen, and I really like how they portrayed those, these really annoying teenagers on those Super Sweet 16 shows, how they portray them with Satan. I think that's just so funny, and although the episode isn't like a total parody of those Super Sweet 16 shows, it's not in the style of the shows, like another episode of South Park, I Should Have Never Got Ziplining, where it's a full parody where they have like the narrator and all that stuff, and it's the same style as those shows. But here, it's in a different style. There's no like camera people. It's not like if you watch a Super Sweet 16 show and then watch this, it's completely different. But you can still sense them dissing those stupid Sweet 16 shows, and I just think it's really funny, especially just with Satan, seeing Satan be so annoying, just like a teenager in those shows. I just think that's really funny. So this is definitely a great Halloween episode to watch around Halloween. Instead of being scared, you can just laugh so hard. Next up, we have Hook, Line, and Screamer from Total Drama Island, which the plot is that the campers try to survive their own horror movie. I didn't really understand the challenge. I know it's supposed to be a parody of the slasher films and all that stuff where you try to survive the, killer. And that's the challenge where you're supposed to survive it. And I know that Duncan, technically, he didn't really win the challenge, but technically he did by surviving, the killer and challenging him and stuff. But, Duncan's not really scared of anything, so of course he's going to challenge it, since he doesn't care. But for the other people, what was the point? Just to get scared? What are they supposed to do? Attack the killer that has a chainsaw that they think is going to kill them? They're just going to run away, and so I don't really understand how to win this challenge. What's the point? Also, I don't understand DJ's elimination. I'm not a big fan of DJ. I do like him. I think he's a cool character, but I didn't really care when he left. Well, I guess the elimination kind of bugged me because it's like, oh, he did the worst in the challenge, so see you later, DJ. What happened to the elimination ceremony? It's like, I guess they wanted to get rid of DJ, but they didn't, since DJ's so well liked on the show, everyone likes him, they're like, how are we gonna do it? I guess we're just gonna, have him just be eliminated because of the challenge, instead of people randomly voting him off, even though they did that with Justin, even though he did nothing, and it's like, oh, let's just vote Justin off. They could have done the same thing for DJ here, but, However, I do like how they poke fun of horror movie cliches. It's not the best Total Drama Island episode, but it beats watching a boring horror movie. Next, we have Bloooo from Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. The plot is that Wilt, Eduardo, and Coco try to capture a ghost that is haunting Foster's home. Man, is this episode boring. It is 22 minutes and nothing really happens. All it is Wilt, Eduardo, and Coco running around the house looking for a ghost. There's a few gags here and there, but for the most part, I just found myself incredibly bored. And it's weird that they didn't know it was Blue. Spoiler alert, it was Blue being the ghost. He was sick, and I don't know why they didn't know it was him, since it's not like he looked different. He looked the exact same in the beginning of the episode, where he was a different shade of blue, and he was the same color, the same nothing. He didn't wear a costume or anything throughout the episode. So I don't understand why they didn't be like, oh, it's just Blue, but they just thought it was a ghost. I don't know. Unless you're a big Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends fan, I just say just skip this episode. Next, we have the Purple Smurfs from the Smurfs, which the plot is that there is an epidemic going around the Smurf village when a Smurf turns into a purple Smurf. This episode isn't really that spooky. It's your typical Smurfs episode where it's all lighthearted and fun. And although, yeah, it does have the, representation of zombies, since the purple Smurfs are supposed to represent zombies. But the big downfall is that it's just a typical episode of the Smurfs. Nothing really spooky or creepy here for it to warrant watching it on Halloween. And I googled to see maybe it's just some random Smurf episode that happened to have a zombie themed. But when I googled it, it came out on October 31st, so it came out exactly on Halloween. So this is a technically Halloween special, and it does not feel like it. It's a good episode. I do like Smurfs, and if you like Smurfs, then you'll like this episode. But there is a lot better, spookier Halloween episodes that I'd rather watch than just this random Smurfs episode. Next we have the Honking from Futurama, which the plot is that Bender turns into a werecar, and now Leela and Fry have to find a way to uncurse Bender. This is old Futurama, so of course this episode's gonna be really funny, and it does not disappoint. I really like how it takes, this old story of, like a werewolf, or I personally feel like they're trying to parody those Headless Horseman tales, and then just putting their own Futurama spin to it, and making this so clever and so funny. Like, I really like the joke how cars are like this old ancient thing, since it's in the future. I just think that's funny. The only creature we get here is cars, and cars aren't really that scary. But this episode has its creepy moments. It is very creepy, like the scenery and the haunted mansion and the vacant building with the killer car. I think it's not really that scary, but the whole vibe we get, the spooky vibe, is definitely great to watch at night for a Halloween. So I definitely recommend it. It is very creepy, yet it is really funny since it is Futurama. And lastly, we have Terror Tales of the Park 2 from regular show. The gang tells scary stories on its way to their party. So our first short story we have here is called Payback, and I think this episode is pretty funny. I like Mordecai's uncle, Uncle Steve. His tie is ridiculously corny. Yeah, I think it's funny, and it's not really that memorable, this episode, or this short, but I do give it a laugh or two when I do watch it, so that's pretty good. And the next short we have here is Party Bus, and like the other one, it isn't really that memorable, but when I watch it, I still enjoy it. I really like the creepiness of the bus, and how it's the twist where instead of like being stuck there for the rest of your life, your whole life gets shrunk into like 10 minutes. I think that's pretty cool. And the ending where they're turning so young that they just disappear, I thought that was pretty funny. And then our main short, Wallpaper Man, it was pretty alright. I did really like the wallpaper maze. I thought that was really cool. And, this episode does have a few laughs, especially at the beginning, with, like, the wallpaper that Mordecai and Rigby made. But for the most part, it is just an alright, short. And this whole episode in general, I do like when they're going through the party. There is some laughs, and especially the end where they don't survive the crash. I thought that was funny. So the episode in whole was pretty good. I did prefer the other one, the first Treehouse of Terror Tales of the Park. But this one is pretty good, and I do watch it every year along with that one. So that was 6 random cartoon Halloween specials reviewed. Next year I probably might do more than 6, might not, depends. I probably will do more Halloween themed ones, since this one there's barely any Halloween, just spooky episodes in general. But yeah, so leave in the comments what's your favorite Halloween specials, or just ones that you watch every year. And yeah, I'm Disco Spider, and happy Halloween.